way and paves the way for success in all areas. Guru Vethathiri Maharishi's aim was to elevate consciousness and spread happiness to all. He designed courses on the deep introspection techniques, Brahma Jnanam or divine realization, and also gave teacher training courses. The Temple of Consciousness and the World Community Service Center, which was founded with love and compassion by our revered Guru Vethathiri Maharishi, are instrumental in spreading noble services all over the world. Padma Shri Arulnidhi S.K.M. Mailanandan took the charge of the World's Community Service Center after Vethathiri Maharishi's Mahasamadhi. A contemporary leader, he is rendering selfless service and fulfilling the dreams of Vethathiri Maharishi. We invite you all to the Alia Temple of Consciousness online and residential courses, which transforms an individual into a divine and a great human being through Sky Yoga practices. Come and experience love, peace, and bliss from the simple and yet powerful transformative practices of Sky Yoga. Be blessed by the divine.
தெய்வத்தை நாடுவதும் தெளிந்தறிவில் தேறுவதும், தெய்வத்தை நாடுவதும் தெளிந்தறிவில் தேடுவதும், திருநிலையாம் மனிதனவன் பிறவி நோக்கம் பயனாம். தெய்வநிலை தெரிந்து கொண்டே திருவருளே நானாக, தெய்வநிலை தெரிந்து கொண்டே திருவருளே நானாக, திகழும் அனுபவம் எனக்கு இல்லை என்பர் சில்லோ. தெய்வமெனும் பாலை பிறை இட்டு தயிராக்கி பின், தெய்வமெனும் பாலை பிறையிட்டு தயிராக்கி பின், தேடுகிறார் பாலை அதை காணேன் என்றால் மயக்கே. தெய்வம் உயிர்க்குள் அறிவாய் அதன் படற்கையிலே, தெய்வம் உயிர்க்குள் அறிவாய் அதன் படற்கையிலே, திகழ்கிறது மனமாக தேடுவது எதை எங்கே, திகழ்கிறது மனமாக தேடுவது எதை எங்கே.
What is the function of the mind? If you want to know all about the thought and its functions, we have to know about the mind first. It is wonder in the world. No man is without mind, but nobody has realized the mind fully to the extent to understand and follow the mind according to its wish. So, it is a very important subject for everybody to understand all about the thought and mind. Thought is nothing but a biomagnetic wave which is working in every living being. If I say biomagnetic wave, I have to explain what is biomagnetism. Everybody is having, but only few people know about the biomagnetic force.
From the day we are born, at every moment of our life, we have experiences, good or bad, pleasant or unpleasant, sad or joyful. These experiences are the forces that affect our moods and emotions. But beyond all these is the most profound experience of all, the experience of the ultimate force that gives energy to the entire universe. The supreme force that reveals our true nature and liberates us from all other forces. Which one of us has not felt a desire to experience this? To feel our connection with the divine force that is present in everything around us? But how can we experience it? Sky, or simplified Kundalini Yoga, is a journey towards this ultimate experience.
So in one sentence, if I want to say, if we want to be really happy, because happy can be defined either the ways, but what is real happiness is something comes internal. And if in today's world, coming internal and all, we need really simplified exercises, which is simple for anyone to do it and feel that energy throughout the day. So I would recommend this not just only for foundation, but also looking forward for other courses. And also, yeah, really thank you.
There will be no conditioning of your mind for loss of our happiness. Always you will feel fullness, rich feeling in the mind, satisfaction and bliss. Mixing myself, penetratively filling into all your consciousness. At the same time, revealing the secret. The same consciousness is Almighty God. We all are one in the nature. Let us feel the brotherhood, the universal brotherhood, and spend the time happily, peacefully, harmoniously. Enjoy the ecstasy. Wishing all of you enlightenment and realization. Be blessed by the divine. Be blessed by
Our present generation has traveled beyond the frontiers of space, modified human DNA, and created machines with intelligence. Life today is more comfortable than ever with luxuries. But the quest for happiness and harmony still remains elusive. One man's quest through intense meditation and research led him to enlightenment, providing insights and answers about our life in the universe. An enlightenment he shared through his teachings, the science of unified living, which has led to millions of lives being transformed. Like all truly great ideas, its brilliance lies in its simplicity. A revolutionary science translated into a daily practice of holistic living, unifying the mind, body, and life force. Sky Yoga, an integrated approach to wellness. Total body exercise to achieve health and well-being. Through systematic yogic movements, the circulation of blood, heat, and air linking the subtle life force and the solid body is well regulated, and the various organs receive ample supply, strengthening and rejuvenating the entire body. These exercises are smooth and strain-free, and anybody from the ages of 8 to 80 can practice them. Total body exercise includes neuromuscular breathing techniques, foot reflexology, acupressure, eye exercise, and relaxation, which helps to prevent and manage major ailments. Meditation to attain your full potential. The process of transforming our life begins with a systematic practice of transforming the mind. This begins by focusing the mind inwards to its subtle source, the life force. The life force, which is a flow of energy particles, gets concentrated at focal points along the spinal cord, forming energy pools known as chakras. Life force particles in constant self-rotation produces a magnetic wave within our physical body called biomagnetism. Meditation reduces mental frequency, streamlines the mind, increasing resilience and reducing stress, creating balance and equilibrium. Meditation enhances our consciousness, enabling us to experience the ultimate ecstasy. Kaya Kalpa, to enhance immunity and anti-aging. Kaya Kalpa Yoga, an ancient practice of the Siddhas, was totally lost to humanity, which Vethathiri Maharishi rediscovered and customized for modern life. Kaya Kalpa, a 7-minute technique, increases the quantum of biomagnetism by intensifying life force, regulating hormones, toning up nerves, enhancing immunity, vitality, anti-aging, and youthfulness. Introspection for harmony and peace. Introspection is a powerful tool for analysis of thought, eradication of worries, neutralizing anger, and streamlining desires, reducing wasteful expenditure of biomagnetism. Negative emotions and thoughts begin to decrease dramatically, improving interpersonal relationships. Vethathiri Maharishi founded World Community Service Center, also known as WCSC, in 1958. From the year 1970 to 1990, he traveled extensively around the world under the stalwart leadership and visionary guidance of Padma Shri S.K.M. Mailanandan.
Shri S.K.M. Mailanandan Samaj Seva.
More than 2,000 plus centers across the globe are transforming lives. WCSC Vision, an education wing of the World Community Service Center, provides certificate, diploma, undergraduate, postgraduate, and PhD in Yoga for Human Excellence through MOU with various universities. A key to health, happiness, success, and harmony. Sky Yoga. Join the online course from the comforts of your home. Register at www.kundaliniyoga.edu.in.
Have you ever looked for the correct teacher? Vethathiri is very different. He is very practical. Exactly to help people meditate better, he has given practical tools. Have you ever looked for the correct teacher to guide you in your spiritual journey? What is special about the sky system of Vethathiri Maharishi is that as a teacher or guru, he answered the questions of people. If someone comes to the guru and says, "Guru, I can't meditate," the guru will scold him and say, "You're not trying hard enough, go back and meditate." Vethathiri is very different. If you come and ask him, "I can't meditate, what should I do?" He'll say, "Why can't you meditate?" "I'm thinking too much." "Well, what are you thinking about?" "I'm thinking about my problem." Then he would say, "Well, solve your problem. Only then will you be able to meditate." He is very practical. Exactly to help people meditate better, he has given practical tools.
என்னை யானறிய வேண்ட இறைவா என் குருவாய் வந்தாய். என்னை யானறிய வேண்ட இறைவா என் குருவாய் வந்தாய். சென்னியில் சிந்தை வைத்து சீர்தவம் முறையாய் செய்தேன். உன்னையே என்னுள் காட்டியுள் நிறைந்தறிவாய் நின்றாய். உன்னையே என்னுள் காட்டியுள் நிறைந்தறிவாய் நின்றாய். முன்னை சேர்வினை தூய்மைக்கே முயன்று அறநெறி வாழ்கின்றேன். முன்னை சேர்வினை தூய்மைக்கே முயன்று அறநெறி வாழ்கின்றேன். என்னை யானறிய வேண்ட இறைவா என் குருவாய் வந்தாய். என்னை யானறிய வேண்ட இறைவா என் குருவாய் வந்தாய்.
May the whole world enjoy prosperity, happiness, and peace. Rain may pour in all parts of the world sufficiently and abundantly, to the satisfaction of all living beings. Leaders of all nations may progress in their spiritual knowledge and do good services to the humanity. Be blessed by the divine, may the whole world enjoy prosperity, happiness, and peace. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Good evening, be blessed by the divine. I'm Sunanda Manoharan, Professor in Sky Yoga. I'm pleasure to invite Professor Vijayashree Sudhakar, our Joint Director of Digital Solutions, WCSC, to deliver the welcome address. Over to Vijay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Be blessed by the divine. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, Vijay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, a very warm welcome to all our distinguished guests and dedicated participants from across the globe. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone joining us. On behalf of the World Community Service Center, Digital Solutions, and our esteemed partners, the Indian Yoga Association, Tamil Nadu State Chapter Committee, it is my immense pleasure to welcome you all in this very special English session as a part of our extended celebrations of the International Yoga Day. We are especially honored to extend our warm welcome to Mr. R. Ilangovan, the Secretary of the IYA Tamil Nadu State Chapter. The theme of this year's International Yoga Day is Yoga for One Earth, One Health. This profound theme beautifully echoes the ancient Indian wisdom of Vasudhaiva Kutumbam, the idea that the world is one family. It serves as a powerful reminder that our individual well-being is deeply connected with the health of our planet and our global community. In today's challenging world, where the shadows of conflict and division loom large, the need for peace has never been more urgent. But where does this peace truly begin? Our revered Guru Vethathiri Maharishi gave us timeless and practical answer: world peace through individual peace. He provided us with scientific techniques to cultivate this peace, first within ourselves, radiating it and spreading it to our family, our society, and the world. To explore this vital topic today, we are blessed with two extraordinary speakers who bring two unique and powerful perspectives. For the first time, joining us is from the very heart of global diplomacy, Mr. Raja P. Arumugam, and representing the pure spiritual lineage of our Guru, we have Senior Professor Balchandraji. Together, their insights promise a spectacular and a holistic session, showing us how to achieve from both an external diplomatic framework and an internal spiritual one, offering both global perspective and a practical spiritual wisdom. We look forward to an enlightening and transformative session. So without further ado, I welcome you all once again and now hand over the proceedings to our esteemed moderator, Sunanda ma'am, to guide us through this journey. Thank you, ma'am. Be blessed by the divine.
Thank you so much for a very warm welcome, Vijay. Thank you so much. Be blessed by the divine. Before we start our program, let us first calm, tune, and prepare our mind to absorb and enjoy this wonderful session. with a short meditation. So I extend my warm welcome to Professor Jayanti Balachandran and humbly request to guide us for a short meditation. So before that, let me just give you all a few lines about Jayanti Amma, as we fondly call her. Senior Professor Jayanti Balachandran is a mathematics major, an excellent singer, and a pillar of spiritual service in the Sky community. She has traveled extensively across the world with her husband, Senior Professor Balachandran, spreading the teachings of our Guru, Vethathiri Maharishi. She was deeply blessed to have spent many years in close association with Maharishi, assisting in documenting and penning down his words into books. So her dedication, clarity in teaching, and artistic expression have inspired countless seekers on the spiritual journey. I am indeed honored to welcome you, Jayanti Amma. Over to you for this short meditation.
வாழ்க வளமுடன். Thank you, Sunandaji.
Thank you. வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
Yes, we are going to do Turiyam meditation. Those who are not familiar with meditation, close your eyes and focus on the breath. Be blessed by the divine. The atmosphere around us is purified by the divine power. The atmosphere around us is purified by the divine power. The divine energy descends upon us. We are purified and blessed. The divine energy descends upon us. We are purified and blessed. May the divine power protect us, guide us, and lead us in all our activities, day and night, in all places, at all times. Salutations to Mother. Salutations to Father. Salutations to the spiritual master, Vethathiri Maharishi. We are going to do Turiyam meditation. We will start the meditation at Agnya Chakra. Turiyam. Be blessed by the divine. We are concluding the meditation. Mentally spread the energy throughout the body. All the cells in the body are purified and blessed. Auto-suggestion. By the grace of divine, we all may enjoy good health, long life, prosperity, wisdom, and peace. By the grace of divine, we all may enjoy good health, long life, prosperity, wisdom, and peace. By the grace of divine and with Guru's blessings, let Vethathiri Maharishi's concepts reach the world leaders and bring world peace. May the whole world enjoy prosperity, happiness, and peace. May the whole world enjoy prosperity, happiness, and peace. May there be peace within us. May there be peace around us. May there be peace in the whole world. Peace, peace, peace. Gently rub your palms and fingers, pass the energy over the face. Raise your hands up, take a deep breath, and bring your hands down. Thank you so much. Be blessed by the divine.
Thank you so much, Jayanti Amma. Be blessed by the divine. One Earth, One Health. This is the theme for this year's International Yoga Day. Our team has created a beautiful video on this theme. So shall we watch the video now?
One Earth, one magnificent interconnected system. Our health, the health of every living being, is intrinsically linked to the health of our planet. When our Earth thrives, we thrive. When it suffers, we all feel the impact. This is the essence of One Health. But how do we heal both ourselves and our world? Vethathiri Maharishi offered a profound insight. Individual peace is the cornerstone of world peace, and a peaceful world nurtures individual well-being. He envisioned a world where harmony prevails, within ourselves, with society, and with nature. He didn't just dream of this harmony. He meticulously crafted a blueprint of world peace, a practical framework further detailed in his comprehensive 14-point World Peace Plan. These plans address everything from individual conduct and spiritual development to global governance and economic reforms, all rooted in universal values and the understanding that lasting peace starts within. Maharishi taught practical techniques through simplified Kundalini yoga and introspection. When we find peace within, our actions become more conscious, compassionate, and considerate of the world around us, the very foundation needed to implement such a grand vision for global harmony. This individual peace doesn't stay confined. It naturally extends outwards. Peaceful individuals create peaceful families, peaceful communities, and ultimately, a peaceful world. A world at peace is a world that respects and nurtures its environment. It's a world where resources are shared equitably, and the health of the earth is a priority, leading to better health for all. Vethathiri Maharishi's vision beautifully aligns with One Earth, One Health. By transforming ourselves, we transform our relationship with the planet. Our individual journey to inner peace becomes a vital contribution to global well-being, for humanity and for the earth itself. It's a cycle. A healthy earth supports healthy individuals, and healthy individuals protect the earth. Let us embrace this path. Let us cultivate our inner peace for our own health and for the health of our one precious earth. Be blessed by the divine.
Peace within. If we are peace within, definitely we'll be spreading the peace everywhere, isn't it? And in fact, that is going to spread all over the world. So that is our theme. That was a beautiful video, isn't it? Next, I request our Senior Professor Balachandran sir to welcome a distinguished guest, Mr. Raja P. ARUMUGAM. Over to you, sir.
Be blessed by the divine. It's a great honor for me to welcome on behalf of Indian Yoga Association and the World Community Service Center, one of the senior most diplomats around the world. Mr. Raja ARUMUGAM. He started his career in Indian civil service, and in a span of 10 years, he rose up to the level of Accountant General. And then he was drawn to international arena, where he was invited, or he went on deputation to United Nations. And then for the next 30 years, he continues to work in the United Nations, first as a professional in the audit and accounts, and later rose to a career diplomat for the last 20 years. He has traveled over 70 countries. He has been wherever there has been a hotspot problem. We could see ARUMUGAMji there and trying to solve it. So whether it is Kuwait-Iraq war, he was there in the midst trying to solve it. In fact, when Saddam Hussein's oil for food problems was there, it was he who took the lead in bringing about peace there, in establishing Kuwait embassy in Iraq. Again, the problem in Kosovo. Like that, he has been always working on difficult areas and has been very, very successful. In the peace talks of famous Geneva II, his contribution was lauded by everyone. And after 30 years, he continues to serve the United Nations and the whole world. It's in fact a great honor, once again, on behalf of the World Community Service Center and Indian Yoga Association, I would request ARUMUGAMji to address us on a very important topic called Aliyah Declaration. Some of you may not be knowing what it is, but he was so passionate about it. He said, I'm going to talk on this. And the relevance, it took place way back in 2002. But he said it is still relevant. And so it is on this topic he is going to address this. Over to you, sir.
They're unable to hear you, sir.
You're on mute.
Can
you unmute? Yes.
Okay.
Sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all the ardent followers of Vethathiri Maharishi. And I'm happy to be participating in this video call and addressing to all of you. First of all, I would like to thank Balachandranji for the introduction and Vijay ji for following up to make sure that I do come and talk about, share my perspectives on the Aliyah Declaration 2022 and its contemporary relevance. Let me begin by addressing a little bit about my experiences. I've been in the UN 30 years now. Although UN has got different parts of various aspects of the UN in health and development and everything, I chose the core mandate of maintaining international peace and security. And that's why I was always passionate about military and peace and peacekeeping and things like that. That's why I chose to continue in the peacekeeping missions, although it is a little bit dangerous and difficult. As you can see, peacekeeping, the places where UN operates in the world are not some of the best of places. So it was my passion to be part of peacekeeping, and I've always been in peacekeeping in different parts of the world. What am I doing here as a peacekeeper doing here in WCSC and Vethathiri Maharishi is something interesting. I was introduced or initiated into Maharishism and universal part of Maharishism about a year and a half ago. It was pure accident that I happened to be in Coimbatore. I come from Tirupur. which everybody knew is a textile town in Coimbatore. I grew up in Coimbatore and Tirupur. Then I studied in Chennai and then went into the civil service. So when I was home last year, a year and a half ago, I had gone to meet one of my close relatives, Mr. S.V. Balasubramaniam. I'm sure everybody will know about it because he's the president of the Arivuthiri Koil in Aliyar. So when I had gone for a meal with him, during the course of the meal, he asked me, what is my plan for the weekend? I said, I have nothing much. So he said, why don't you come to Aliyar and have a visit of the Arivuthiri Koil? And they were having their annual general body meeting there. So that's how I got invited and initiated into Vethathiri Maharishi. So I went there. When I went there, I couldn't believe it. I was so fascinated by the entire setting of Arivuthiri Koil because it's so beautifully located. And you know everything about Arivuthiri Koil is so beautiful. Greenery all over the place, trees, flowers. The grasses are so beautifully manicured, and then you have in the middle of all that is the temple of Vethathiri Maharishi. I was so fascinated. So when I went, my first impression was so good. And then I attended the meeting and I discussed it. And whatever I heard from there, I was so involved and passionate. That's how I got initiated into what. And one of the things that came to my mind at that time is, okay, fine. This is something which is happening in my place. What I am doing all over the world, somebody had looked at it 25, 30, 40 years ago and given a solution to the world in the form of the Aliyar Declaration in 2022. I read the document. I found it so interesting and so knowledge and meaning. There's so much of issues covered in that which are global, which are universal, which can be applied to anybody else. So I was fascinated on that. Then following that, then somebody suggested I go to WCSC headquarters in Thiruvanmiyur, which I went there last year, and I also happened to meet some of you there. When I went there, they took me to the room where Vethathiri Maharishi lived his life. Such a great man, such a great vision, such a great visionary, has brought solutions for most of the problems what the humanity is facing, lived such a humble life. I was so fascinated by that. That's how I got involved in Vethathirism. And I told myself, this is something where despite doing whatever I do in the United Nations, for me to do back in my own country, to contribute to the international peace through Vethathiri Maharishi, this is where I got my interest on that. That's how my interest in Vethathiri Maharishi started. I'm still, unlike most of you, I'm still in an elementary school because I've been there just for a year and a half, still learning about Vethathiri Maharishi and his teachings and his views and ideas and vision. So please bear with me. I'm still on an elementary school student when it comes to Vethathiri Maharishi. But what inspired me is the Aliyar Declaration of 2022. That is something which is fascinating because I've read that many times and I have seen whatever is said in the 2002 declaration, which came out after a conference by international experts, where Vethathiri Maharishi had come back and given give a solution to most of the problems the humanity is facing. I thought I will use that as my basic document today, and then see whatever he said in 2002. What has happened from 2002 to 2025 and see how relevant it is today and then see where we move in the next part of the 21st century. When you look at, let me give you a little bit about the declaration. When you read the preamble of the declaration, it clearly says Vethathiri Maharishi expected that the dawn of the 21st century is the great time where he sensed a sense of hope and anticipation when the new century started. So if you really look at what happened at that time in 2002 in the global politics, please bear with me because whatever he had said has got something to do with global politics, geopolitics, and you will really appreciate the understanding of a guru who's more into spiritual. His understanding of global politics and geopolitics and its impact on humanity is phenomenal, mind-boggling, I would say. I'm sometimes I really wonder how somebody from that part of India, from some remote place, had such a global vision of everything that is happening in the world and came out with this document. So when slightly let us put things in proper perspective. The 1990s, that is the end of the 20th century, saw a major development in the global world order. The Soviet Union collapsed, that was the end of the Cold War. And then you have the bipolar world order had changed into unipolar world war. That's when this 2002 declaration had taken place. There's phenomenal seismic change in the global landscape in terms of global politics. And at that time, Vethathiri Maharishi was so very clear that any problem with this has to be fundamentally done with all that in the document. Let me tell you simply, the document has so much of information and so much of aspects that you can talk about it for the whole day today. But I would like to limit it to myself, to where I have my expertise and where it completely relates to the United Nations. And it also talks about what is to be done in the United Nations, what is to be done in peacekeeping. And it also talks about human rights and women and those kind of things. So given the paucity of time, limited time, I would like to focus on Vethathiri Maharishi's vision on how the UN should be reformed to face the challenges of the 21st century. This was in 2002 when he said that in the declaration, we are quarter century away from it now. And if you really look at what had happened in the last 25 years, you will see so much of activities, conflicts have taken place. The geopolitics have shifted. We have gone from bipolar to a unipolar to a multipolar world today, where I would also like to touch about when I finish with probably in between talk about India's role in geopolitics and how the 2002 earlier declaration reflects on India's progress, India's contribution to world peace and harmony. So I'll also, as part of it, I'll touch it. But right now, let me talk about the declaration. One of the important part, what Vethathiri Maharishi talks about is the reform of the United Nations. He says United Nations has to be democratized. Is the UN democratized after 50, 75 years of its existence? No, it is not. But Vethathiri Maharishi clearly says, whatever is the UN, particularly when he talks about United Nations, he talks about the main policy-making body there, that is the Security Council. Vethathiri Maharishi says that why it is relevant today is, he says the Security Council, which was established in 1945, immediately after the First World War, reflects the geopolitics, the political situation of 1945. It does not reflect what is happening, what had happened in the last 50, 60, 70 years. It does not truly reflect the current position of the country's strength. He says, what was established in 1945 may not be very relevant now. So yet, in the declaration said, United Nations has to reform. He said the Security Council has to expand. It has to become democratized. He doesn't say anything about it. But what happened after that, after 2002, is the UN has gone into a little bit of reform process. If you know, we had a famous Secretary General, Mr. Kofi Annan, who was a Nobel Peace Laureate. During the end of his term, he proposed few changes, reforms to the UN security system, Security Council. Particularly, he said the Security Council should expand. Right now, as you know, we have 5 permanent members and 10 non-permanent members. The 5 permanent members have what everyone calls veto, which Vethathiri Maharishi had clearly said the veto should go. It is no longer democratic. So at some point, you have to cancel the veto. And then he said the Security Council has to be extended. What Kofi Annan proposed at that time was, he said that 10 non-permanent members has to be expanded to 15. And he also wanted to add 5 more permanent members without veto. So basically, he suggested to reflect the current geopolitics in international order, the Security Council should be increased, the membership of Security Council should be increased to 25. That is what was proposed, and that probably, in my view, is what is the relevance of the declaration of 2002 reflects on. So what is happening now is we are still discussing. India has been actively campaigning to be a permanent member of the Security Council. More or less, almost out of the 194 member states, I can tell you almost 175 countries have clearly endorsed India to be a permanent member. But then when that happens is something to be seen. You probably, hopefully, it will take about 5 years, 10 years, 25 years. We don't know. So that is one of the major recommendations of Vethathiri Maharishi to expand to reform and expand the Security Council. Another aspect of Vethathiri Maharishi's in earlier declaration 2002 is he had predicted that the conflicts will continue, and as and when the conflicts continue, UN has to establish peacekeeping missions. I just want to give you an understanding of what are the current peacekeeping missions we have. As we speak today, there are about 3 major conflicts which are going around the world, high-level conflicts. One, of course, is, as you all know, the Ukraine-Russia war is happening for the last 2.5 years. Then we had Israel-Gaza war, which has been going on for a year and a half now. And then now, till 2 weeks ago, we had Israel-Iran war, which for time being it's kind of in a lull moment now, but it can change anytime now. So we have 3 major wars going on, and in addition to it, we have about 18 what we call medium-grade conflict going around the world. Let's take a look at what are the peacekeeping missions. What Vethathiri Maharishi has said in the 2002 declaration is, wherever there is conflict, UN should establish immediately peacekeeping missions so that you bring in peace and harmony to the world. So we currently have, if you really look at it, if you go from east to west, we have the 33rd parallel. We have a very, very small operation between North and South Korea. Then when you go west, we have India, Pakistan, which has been there for quite a long time, which was established in 1949, which is still ongoing, which was there till 2 weeks ago. It was in the news when Operation Sindoor happened. Then you have peacekeeping in Iraq. We had peacekeeping in Iraq. We have peacekeeping in Yemen, Syria, Cyprus. Then if you go further into Europe, you have peacekeeping in Kosovo. Then you go to Africa, you have peacekeeping in Libya. You have peacekeeping in Sudan. You have peacekeeping in South Sudan. You have peacekeeping in Somalia. You have peacekeeping in Democratic Republic of Congo. And then when you go further west, you have peacekeeping mission in Haiti. You have peacekeeping mission in Colombia. These are all some of the major peacekeeping activities which are taking place, which is essential to establish international peace and security. And this is something which Vethathiri Maharishi has clearly proposed to the UN and to the world at large, that when there is a conflict, if you are not able to arrest the progress of the conflict, UN has to establish peacekeeping missions. So these are all some of the peacekeeping activities that is taking place. But he also suggests UN should create a permanent corps of peacekeepers all over the world, so where they can be deployed as and when there is a requirement immediately. So that is something which has not happened yet. But I'm very happy to tell you, as you can see from my profile, India is one of the leading provider of peacekeepers all over the world. India is number 2. We have been providing peacekeepers from 1948 onwards. So far we have provided about 500,000 or more peacekeepers to deploy to the various parts of the world. So peacekeeping is a continuous process. I've been, as has been introduced, I've been part of most of the conflicts in the last 20-25 years. Whatever was the important conflict, I had been a part of the conflict, not part of the conflict, had been part of the peacekeeping mission by the UN to bring in about peace and lasting solution to the people in those regions. So that's one of the important aspects of Vethathiri Maharishi. How does it relevant today? Peacekeeping will continue to be formed as part of UN activities. It has happened in the last 25 years. It will continue to have in the next 50 years or so. So one of the important declarations is very relevant now and will continue to be relevant. The other issue which I wanted to talk about, what happened between 2002 and 2025, is if you really look at what changed the global perspective on international order, is you must have read about the Arab Spring. Arab Spring is a people's movement that started somewhere in the Arab world, starting from North Africa, and then for the next 3-4 years, it swept through the whole of Middle East and North Africa and brought in a dynamic change to the political structure in those countries. What Vethathiri Maharishi says in the 2002 declaration is, wherever you have autocracy, wherever you have theocracy, that should end and democracy should be pursued. Democracy should be established in those countries where people have a say in what is happening in the government, and he wanted active people's participation in those governments. What happened in the Arab Spring? If you really look at the countries which are affected by the Arab Spring, you look at, they've all been ruled by dictators for 30-40 years, where everything, the fundamental rights of what we enjoy in India, of freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of human rights, and expression, everything have all been subjugated by the dictatorship. So what happened in the Arab Spring? People rose against it. So I can tell you, it started with in Iraq when the second Gulf War happened in 2003. That's when Saddam Hussein, who has been ruling Syria with an iron fist and creating all kinds of problems for the people of Iraq and for the region, fell, and then ultimately he was tried and hanged. So that created a momentum for the various people in all the autocratic world to rise against their dictators. And that is what Vethathiri Maharishi foresaw in the 2002 earlier declaration. If you really look at what happened in all those countries, a country like Tunisia, where Zain El Abidine bin Ali, he was the dictator who was ruling for almost about 25-30 years. He was overthrown. That happened in 2010. Then you had Egypt. Egypt was another country where actually, when the second revolution took place, I was posted in Egypt at that time, where Hosni Mubarak and the family who have been ruling the country for 30 years was overthrown. And that led to the election and coming up of Muslim Brotherhood, which the people didn't want it to, where the democratically elected president, when he turned the Egyptian society to Muslim Brotherhood and Islamic fundamentalism, people rose against him, and he was overthrown too. And again, in Egypt, and then at that time was Mr. Muammar Gaddafi. Gaddafi was ruling Libya for almost 50 years with an iron fist, with fundamentally destroying the basic rights of its own citizens. But he was thrown out by a revolution as part of the Arab Spring. Finally, he was murdered. He was found in a gutter and killed. And the last of the entire, there was phenomenal change in the Middle East structure, where even the kings and sheikhs have changed their way of governing and became a little bit democratized. And that's what Vedhathiri Maharishi had said in the 2002 declaration, wherever you have dictatorship, they should modernize and bring in democracy. And that's what happened in 2000. That's what happened in the last 10, 15 years after the Arab Spring. The last one to fall was Bashar al-Assad, where I am currently involved in my capacity, peacekeeping mission, which I've been involved in the last 10 years. Bashar al-Assad there was a revolt. He